Thank you for staying with us here on Nation at 5. We are getting some news, and this is a CNN News 18 exclusive. This is to do with what's transpiring in our neighborhood. Senior Taliban figures have now told CNN News 18 that Islamabad has lost control since 2023 when Afghan commanders stopped obeying ISI directives. Ceasefire between Afghanistan and Taliban, remember, was reached and was agreed upon for 48 hours, but what sources are telling us now is that ceasefire will allow Pakistan to reopen these diplomatic back channels and regain partial influence through negotiation rather than force, because clearly the Pakistani army and its force is not enough to keep the Afghanistan Taliban out of their control. Top Taliban sources in Kabul are saying the Taliban views this ceasefire as a bargaining chip from Pakistan's side. What sources are telling us is that Pakistani army is struggling not just on the borders with Afghanistan, but given the internal insurgency that we've seen, that's only adding to the troubles of Rawalpindi, which is why they want negotiations to take place, and which is why we saw Pakistan agree to this 48-hour truce window in the first place. Anand Narasimhan, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details. Anand, what more are we learning? Why exactly is it that Pakistan agreed to this 48-hour truce?
Good evening, Poonam, and good evening to our viewers here on CNN News 18. Senior Taliban figures have told CNN News 18 that Islamabad actually lost control since 2023 when Afghan commanders stopped obeying ISI directives. And they view this entire aspect of ceasefire of a method or a means for Pakistan to try and reopen diplomatic channels and regain partial influence through negotiation rather than force. And the idea is Afghanistan is looking at these talks to their end because they would like a certain level of trade concessions. They're very keen that the Atari-Wada border be open for supplies to move towards uninterrupted towards Afghanistan. They are also keen to ensure that certain border issues and border disputes and areas where Pakistan, as the Afghans claim, has encroached into their territory, all of that be given back. And of course, help them with this entire economic structure because they are landlocked. And the Pakistanis are trying to keep Afghanistan away from certain amount of economic activity. But they are very clear, the Taliban sources are very, very clear that they want to understand and look at these negotiations and these peace conversations to try and assert Afghanistan's individual identity separate or bereft of any Pakistani control. Meanwhile, they believe, the Taliban sources believe, that Pakistan has suffered huge reversals in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and in Balochistan, the Waziristan areas, etc. There is a lot of activity, engagement with the TTP is hurting the Pakistani military, which is already stretched and tired, and this increasing internal insurgency is only going to perhaps hurt Pakistan's chances of further getting IMF bailouts and also any kind of foreign aid, because Pakistan will be further viewed as a troubled area, and the IMF may just back off and hold its aid because of the prevailing situations in Pakistan. So the Taliban team believes that this is more linked to an economic survival of Pakistan rather than Pakistan wanting any peace with the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which again the Afghans believe, or the Taliban believe, the Afghan territory and Taliban should not be blamed for.
Anand, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front and putting that conflict in perspective.